Welcome, TNT. Welcome. This is the program, the fantastic program, the great program called The Hot Seat. Today, I invite you, yes, I invite you to pay particular attention to today's program. For indeed, today, we have a special guest. He's on his way. Today, our special guest on the hot seat will be none other than Mr. Andy Johnson, journalist extraordinaire, presenter, producer, writer. Andy Johnson will be our guest today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the program. And let's start it, of course, the right way. Join me for a word of prayer. Will you? Oh, heavenly, loving Father, Father God, as we come to you today, I thank you, God, for every single thing which you have done for us. I ask you, God, firstly, to please forgive us our sins, forgive us our shortcomings, and may we not sin by thoughts, by words, or by deeds. Protect us, thou God, from the forces of evil. Protect us, dear God, from wicked people. Have mercy upon us, thou God, that we in our own hearts would not be wicked, that we would not be thinking or plotting evil against others, that we wouldn't try to pull down or fight down, that we shall always remain humble, no matter where we go in life. We shall always remember that each person is a human being and must be respected. We ask you, God, to bless every citizen of this country. Those who are sick, heal them, thou God. Those who are going through financial problems, God, Father, miraculously bless them. Bless them, thou God, that they will come out of their financial problems. I want you, thou God, to guide the leader of the opposition, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and the opposition. I want you to guide, thou God, the leader of government, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and the government. And Father God, in a special way, I ask you, thou God, to guide Mr. Stuart Young, the new Minister of National Security. Guide him with Mr. Gary Griffith, the new police commissioner. Guide them, thou God, that they will put country over party, that they will do what is best for the country, thou God. Guide all of them, thou God, that this crime will be reduced, that people will feel a sense of safety once more. Father God, I put these prayers sincerely from my heart. I put them in your sight, unto you, thou God, through the name of the Father, through the name of the Son, through the name of the Holy Ghost, I pray. Amen and amen. All right. Bring it up. Bring it up. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, the people of this country, join me for the great words as you say it with me. Every way I go throughout Trinidad and Tobago now, people have forgotten my name, and I'm happy about that. When they see me, the one thing they say to me, I love my country. If that's my new name, no problem. So join me at the count of 3 as we say those great words, and we say it with the love of our heart. Are you ready? Are you ready, TNT? Are you ready? Come feel it. Are you ready? Let's go. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I love my country. Ladies and gentlemen, today begins cricket. Is it cricket? Yes, it's cricket, eh? Producer, it's cricket. Correct. Today begins cricket in the Oval. I hope it will be a sellout crowd. I have not received as yet my complimentary from FCB, Back in the days when I had money, I would receive a complimentary from STV to be their box. I don't know if because I have no money these days. Well, I haven't received an invitation as a former director of Eastern Credit Union. So I guess I have to go and find my little change and go on the grounds. No big deal. Because I'm just a graduate from Samoa, you see. But one point I've been making to Eastern Credit Union over the years. Eastern Credit Union paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for a box in the Oval, which I think we should stop. I've been saying that for years now, even when I was there on the board. But if we have the box, then let have like a lottery or like a something within the branches, and let the members whose money we're using to pay for the box, let the members have the enjoyment of going to the box and enjoying cricket or football or whatever happening out there. But you know what? The president wants a big section. The CEO wants a next section. The director wants a this section. So it's only for directors, top management, and their family and friends. And you, whose money being used, I said before, I said at a board meeting, it's recording the board meeting, I said, this is not right. The members, sometimes members are so weak, they don't speak on these issues. Let the members, let the staff enjoy it. Arrange where every day 3 members from Samoa branch, 2 members from Portsmouth branch, from Tunapuna branch, from South branch, from Arima branch. Let the members enjoy it. Let one member from staff from Samoa, one member from staff from Barata, from Tunapuna, from Port of Spain. Let the people who own the money, whose money we're spending, to have that box, let them enjoy the box also, along with the president, along with this, along with that. No, I'm not saying, I don't mean literally that the president wants a whole section or the CEO wants a whole section. I don't mean it literally. But I mean, they're the ones who enjoy the box. And the box should be enjoyed by them, yes, nothing's wrong with that. By former directors and presidents, nothing's wrong with that. But it must also be enjoyed by the membership, who money we're spending for the box. That's why I stood up against what I perceive to be alleged corruption or misappropriation of funds. That's what, because the purchase of that property, which I still am fighting, the purchase of that property was illegal. Nobody could, and you note I'm not using the word allege. The purchase of the property was illegal. And those who conspired to do it should be brought before the commissioner or even Courts Furniture Store. But the fact is, that purchase was illegal. But who is standing up with me? Is the commissioner office standing up with me? Tell me. Is the Ministry of Labor standing up with me? Who we fall under? Cooperatives? Is the Minister of Labor standing with me? The purchase was illegal. Not me. Listen with your ears. I'm not saying allegedly. I'm saying the purchase of that property was illegal. So now we come to cricket this evening. Glorious cricket. Who will be enjoying the box and eating the little food and having the little drinks and so on? Directors this and directors that, and president this and president that, and CEO this and CEO that. And of course their friends, who might not even be a member of the credit union. And you, because you're weak, ain't fighting for nothing for yourself. You want me to fight for everything. Get up and start to fight for that which is right. Get up and say no more. Stop it, stop it, stop it, and make sure they stop it. You own the credit union. You're not a customer. You are a member owner, member/owner of the credit union, of all credit unions. So credit union members who have concerns, feel free to contact me at the Center for Justice. My number there, as you see it on the screen, the number is 624-7347. That's 624-7347. As you know, I'm the chairman of the Center for Justice. Contact my executive assistant. Her name is Diane Hadid. She is there in the office, Ms. Diane Hadid. She has a master's degree in law. And there also in the office, you have Mr. Waldron, who is an attorney at law and a chartered accountant. The Center for Justice is fully equipped with knowledge, experience, and the technical know-how. So if any one of you suffering any problems in any credit union, you contact the Center for Justice, and we shall fight for you. But credit union members, the time has come for you to be strong. This is your time to be strong. Come on, be strong. Be strong, my people. All credit union members, be strong. Do the right thing. A young man came on the papers, was it yesterday, before yesterday? And the Guardian did not do any investigation. He claimed he had cancer of the foot. A cricketer, yes, you see, as I talk about him, they called me to say I shouldn't speak about it. But let me talk about it nevertheless. As I'm live on national television, and I know it would not be the associates of who's calling me, and I'm telling you, I'm shocked who is calling me at this point in time. Because the producer should have told the person who was here before not to call me at this point in time. But things happen. This young man claimed he had cancer of the foot. I found cancer of the foot. I've never heard about that one before. But cancer can check you anywhere. So said, so done. He have diabetes. Now he claims. We talk about journalists in this country. There's a gentleman who worked with me, always tell me, who worked for me, always tell me, Mr. Borris, you're not a journalist, you're a talk show host. I accept that. I accept that. But what really is a journalist? In this country, what we have? We have a bunch of reporters. You say up, they report up. You say down, they report down. Some of you don't get vexed with me. We're all in the same business. We're in the media business together. So we are all media workers. That puts us at a level playing field. Some are talk show hosts, TV hosts, some are journalists, and some are reporters. The vast majority are simply reporters. You go to a meeting, the person says XYZ, you write XYZ. A reporter would question you, why you say X? And if you explain why X, but isn't the fundamental reason for having no explanation? The reporter somehow has some knowledge too. Isn't the fundamental reason for saying X is because of XYZ? And the person have to explain, and then there are reporters who are investigative reporters who will go behind the scene and investigate a matter, trying to get all sides of the story, but doing investigation. Sometimes they are the ones who bring down crooked empire, corruption, ball and nepotism. But the vast majority who claim that they are journalists are simply reporters. So then, you can call a talk show host a journalist. Or you can call a reporter a journalist. But we must be careful in that which we produce. Now, generally speaking, the young man who was a cricketer, I want him to get help. It is sad to see a young man going through this. So please, any one of you could help him, please help him. Because he's a young citizen, and he was actually representing our country. Help him, please. Please help him. Now I want to speak to the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to go for a break now. But when I come back, shall be given advice to the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. I shall be given some advice or recommendations in some of the areas to which I think we can do much better. So we shall go for a break now. When we come back, advice to the Prime Minister. After that, I shall open the lines, and of course we have our guest today who will be on the hot seat, none other than former head of all media for the past government, Mr. Andy Johnson, and former head senior journalist at CCN. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Have you heard? For the summer vacation or summer promotion, calling everybody to every Darrell's famous foods location. 1 piece on side for $10 every morning. Everybody, let's go. Let's go. 1 piece on side for $10 every morning. Everybody, let's go sing. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, visit all Darrell's Famous Foods location for this summer promotion. Get 1 piece and 1 side for only $10 every morning till 12 midday. Darrell's Famous Foods, your taste of the Caribbean. This is a limited time offer.
The National Investment Fund announces the offer for sale of fixed income bonds starting from as little as $1,000 with attractive interest rates over the investment period that suits you best. An affordable investment opportunity supported by 5 of the country's best performing companies that pays income every 6 months tax-free. Don't miss out on this investment opportunity. Contact your broker and complete your application form today. This is a limited time offer until the 9th of August 2018. For a copy of the prospectus or more information, visit nif-tt.com.
Bright Ideas has the largest array of practical and finishing items for the home under one roof. From the most sophisticated selection of exotic flowers in the country to amazing chandeliers, lighting and wall fixtures. Bright Ideas caters for every room in the house with unique items that you'll find nowhere else. So you can fix up your home, complete that special look and be the envy of all. With household appliances, draperies, beddings, kitchen and dining room items, outdoor furnishings, TV, electronics, and so much more. Bright Ideas, Marabella, Princestown, Rio Claro, Point Fortin, and Gulf City. Getting married? Then inquire about their bridal registry or visit them today for that special gift item. For the holidays and for every day, there is a bright idea just waiting for you. Bright Ideas with 5 great locations and the convenient opening hours to serve you. Visit them today at Marabella, Princestown, Rio Claro, Point Fortin, and the Gulf City.
Hi there. Welcome to Pediatric Specialist Center. We're here to see your kids' health. With our experienced and qualified pediatric doctor, your kids would be well attended to. We're located right here in Pepper Village, upstairs of Union Pharmacy. We bring to the community and surrounding areas a service that is much needed for the Southwest Peninsula of the country. So come visit us for checking up on your child's health or when the little ones feel ill. Call us at 781-8070 or 337-1894 for information or to request call-outs, and follow us on Facebook at Pediatric Specialist Center.
Make this school year an epic one with back-to-school specials at Value Optical. Get the coolest eyewear with the very best in lens technology. Discounts up to 50% for your entire crew. Bring your friends and family to enjoy light, intelligent lenses. Visit us in store for details. Terms and conditions apply. Kick off the new term with back-to-school specials from Value Optical. Caring for your eyes.
Are you looking for a home away from home? Then the place you're looking for is Caribbean Tourist Villa, conveniently located at number 7 Methuen Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad, and fully equipped with cable TV and internet. Whether you're looking for that personal escape or it's you and friends, we're here to accommodate you in our air-conditioned rooms. So call us at 627-5423 or 624-6702 to make your booking today. And did I tell you about the pool? So come see for yourself. Caribbean Tourist Villa. It is definitely your home away from home.
Nicole Huggins and Empress Judy of Health and Wealth Lifestyle present the Freedom Cruise.
Are you ready? Are you ready for it?
On Sunday, 12th August 2018, boarding at the Breakfast Shed, Ryson Road, Port of Spain at 11 a.m. Sailing 12 noon till 3 p.m. Entertainment by Marlon Mr. Music, Memphis International, Tony Prescott. And a rhythm section. Tickets cost $150. Come, taste our delicious China soup. Absolutely. No oversized coolers and no glass bottles allowed. For further information, call 1-868-288-1108 or 398-8282. Freedom, the Cooler Cruise.
Welcome back, the wonderful people of the beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago, and those of us viewing us throughout the Caribbean and throughout the world. Welcome back. Of course, the program is so hot in the country. All over we go now, people talking about the hot seat. And on Sundays, they're talking about Face the People. And therefore, if you want to advertise where you're at a reasonable cost, where you're going throughout the country and throughout the Caribbean and literally throughout the world, this is the program, this is the station to make sure your ad is on. Call me if you want us to, or call one of the, the managing director, call one of us to ensure that you're in the right place, that you're making your business double or quadruple in a short space of time. So let's get back to the program. Let me say this to you, TNT. I want to give the Prime Minister some advice or some recommendation, because I think the Prime Minister is committed to this country. I think his heart is in the right place. No, I could be wrong. Those are my thoughts. On that basis, as a citizen of this country, I felt it is my responsibility, if not duty, to make some recommendations. And yes, one of the recommendations that will shock you, are going to recommend me for something. Yes. I'll recommend me for something because I don't have nobody to recommend on my behalf, so I have to recommend for myself. Now, if I had a Minister of Health recommended for me, all right, I just rock back. I tell him if I had a next minister recommended for me or a chairman of a constituency, I have nobody to recommend for me. So that's the point I'm teaching you. If you have nobody to recommend for you, recommend for yourself. Nothing is wrong with that. Just be honest and honorable, whatever your intentions are. So, my first recommendation to the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and that is, Prime Minister, Trinidad and Tobago can be the first country in the Western Hemisphere, any part of the world, to have not one single homeless person. I understand a committee of 10 persons was recently appointed by the ministry that is responsible for the homeless in this country. I hope to meet with that committee sometime in the near future. But Prime Minister, I have a plan in my mind. Simple, all we need is land and of course, moderate, simple, inexpensive construction. Nothing have to cost us millions and millions of dollars. The whole thing might not even cost $1 million. And we will be able to take every homeless person off the street. Also, there'll be need for legislation called the Upward Momentum and Citizens Transformation. That piece of legislation will give the framework and the teeth for the betterment of citizens, that we can, in a way, to improve their lives, improve their livelihood, improve their standing, we can take them off the streets. Of course, there will be those dotish attorneys, because there are many good attorneys, but there are the dotish ones who are always looking for public attention on the basis of human rights, to come and try to stop this and stop that. I am saying clearly, we have to prepare to stand up and fight those persons. Or we take the homeless and put them in their yard to live. It breaks my heart when I see a homeless person on the street with part of his or her anatomy literally rotting off. That's a human being. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a human being. How can we stand that? How can you see a person lying on the ground, look by in front of a Royal Bank in the evening, or in front of the Islamic Muslim mosque and so on, see the amount of homeless we have right now? I say we can remove every single, we can become a model nation where countries, both first world, second world, and third world, flying into Trinidad and Tobago to see our model. Understand what we are doing. Not a single homeless person, and you're rehabilitating them, and you put them to work, and you create. Listen, it is a program. I have seen homeless people literally die on the pavement. I remember once dropping a guest to the airport, a foreigner, and there was a dead, bloated dog on the highway. And the foreigner said to me, Mr. Borris, that's the way you all treat your animals? And I had no answer. I was happy he didn't see the homeless. Because we can transform this. Listen, this is not no rocket science. It is simple. I have the ideas, Prime Minister. Let us change that. Let there be no suffering like that. Human beings on the ground suffering in Tata. That is somebody's child. That's somebody's father or mother or sister or uncle or aunt. They may be responsible for the reason why they're on the street, you know. They may have lived a very terrible life. It could be because of the taking of drugs. Whatever it is, I say, forget whatever it is. Yes, we can remove them, we can transform them, we can rehabilitate them, and we can have a city with not a single homeless person, a country with not a single homeless person. Two things: land and a piece of legislation to which I have the idea for. And we can do it, Prime Minister. Ministers, we can do it. My second recommendation to the Prime Minister: I want to strengthen the Ministry of National Security. I want to recommend the removal of the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Ministry of National Security. I want to recommend the upgrading of the MP for Sandy Grande, MP Glenda Jennings-Smith, to minister in the Ministry of National Security. I'm just looking at her on the front page of the Express, and she looks quite beautiful, even extremely attractive. But with that beauty and that attractiveness, she has law experience for over 30 years. Elevate her, Prime Minister, to minister in the Ministry of National Security. Stuart Young, make the recommendation. I also would like to recommend that Laventille East MP, Adrian Leons, be given the position of PS in the Ministry of Works. PS in the Ministry of Works. That's not permanent secretary. That's parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works. Prime Minister, I think it is something you will not regret. Leons, because of his engineering background, give him parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works, along with whoever is there. And the third and final recommendation for the time being, Prime Minister, I would like to recommend that the MP for Dabadi O'Meara, Brigadier General Ansel Antoine, be made a minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities. A minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities. Or a minister in the Prime Minister's office. Or a minister in the Prime Minister's office. And the fourth person for ministerial positioning is none other than that extremely handsome, bright, brilliant grassroots, that person who represents the grassroots of this country. He is, of course, Harvey R. Borris. I recommend him to become minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for a ministry section called the Ministry of Grassroots Concerns. The Ministry of Grassroots Concerns. The Ministry of Grassroots Concerns. Bringing the government back to the people. the minister of grassroots concerns. The concerns of the grassroots, I shall be going throughout the country. I shall be your voice, your ears, and we shall transform the minister of grassroots concerns. And that will I will also be able to look at the whole and assist the ministry in respect to the homeless situation. So, Prime Minister, there you have it. My recommendations for today to you, the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I now will go for a break. And when we come from the break, none other than journalist extraordinaire, Mr. Andy Johnson. Let's go for that break.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle from the first restaurant in 1968 when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air. Like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste and I love it too. And the kids, they have more to enjoy. For me, the Castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Chin Sin seasoning products have been flavoring all of TNT's local cuisine since 1982. Chin Sin introduces its No MSG line of products. Now you can use No MSG chicken seasoning, No MSG all-purpose seasoning, and No MSG poultry seasoning. Chin Sin seasoning products are available in all leading supermarkets nationwide. Chin Sin. Same quality, great taste.
Get the solution you need from Green Dot. Our TV packages offer just the right balance, giving you quality entertainment and a wide range of exciting channels. Our broadband packages are made to power all your household needs, whether you're streaming, gaming, or updating your profile. Plus, we have the lowest price TV and broadband bundles, a package that's tailored for the times. So sign up for a solution that suits your needs. Call 224-GDOT or visit gd.tt today. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Are you looking for a home away from home? Then the place you're looking for is Caribbean Tourist Villa, conveniently located at number 7 Methuen Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad, and fully equipped with cable TV and internet. Whether you're looking for that personal escape or it's you and friends, we're here to accommodate you in our air-conditioned rooms. So call us at 627-5423 or 624-6702 to make your booking today. And did I tell you about the pool? So come see for yourself. Caribbean Tourist Villa. It is definitely your home away from home.
Trinidad and Tobago. This is it. One of the biggest moments you have been waiting for all year. The People's National Movement Sports and Family Day. # Together We Can. Sunday, 12th August 2018 at Edinburgh 500 Recreation Grounds in Chaguanas. Starting at 9 a.m. sharp. So come one, come all, and spend a full day with your family. Together we can. There will be lots of fun and entertainment. Children's play park, face painting, small goal football, windball cricket, all fours competition, Zumba burner, free bingo, pony and horseback riding, and our surprise guest artist. Come and share your MP in the MP's race and so much more. There will be lots of eats and drinks on sale. Every constituency will be represented, so come early in your race. And hear this, the overall winner will receive the Political Leaders Challenge Trophy. Who will be the winner? Find out for yourself as we count down the biggest moment for the PNM's annual Sports and Family Day. Let's be red and ready to enjoy the entire day. And together we can. See you all at Edinburgh 500 Recreation Ground, Chaguanas. Come one, come all. Sunday, 12th August 2018. # Together we can.
Build back a country. Need air conditioning? Then call Supreme Air Conditioning at 689-3087 or 365-1163. We supply and install GE, Coleman, Innovair, Daikin, Comfy, including inverter systems and lots more. We service and repair all brand AC units, commercial and residential. All site visits and estimates free. So call 689-3087 or 365-1163. Supreme Air Conditioning. We do it right the first time.
If you're looking for the best, then come to the best. Next Gen, the Everything Store, and the Next Generation Limited. Your original one-stop school shop where you'll find all the top brand names like Faber-Castell, Pilot, Y+, Statler, Crayola, Scholar, and Elmer's, just to name a few. They've also got their very own range of school bags, proudly made and locally guaranteed. Also, check out their wide selection of shoes and ready-made school uniforms. Next Gen, the Everything Store, and the Next Generation Limited are authorized retailers for a wide range of top brand name products. And nobody beats their prices. The Next Generation Limited, ideally situated in the heart of beautiful Rio Claro, and Next Gen, the Everything Store, located in scenic Mayaro. Just call 644 or 630-BOOK. That's 644 or 630-2665. Ask for NASA or Kareem Khan. The Next Generation Limited and Next Gen, the Everything Store Limited, ready to serve you because you are an exceptional customer that deserves exceptional quality, price, and service.
Nabi's Medical Marketing, the one-stop shop for all your surgical and medical supplies. Presently specializing in pharmaceutical, medical, and home healthcare supplies. Nationwide distributors for pharmacies, private and public hospitals. Fully stocked showroom with a complete range of home healthcare products. Wheelchairs, walkers, hospital beds, and more. Sole distributors for the Cook medical range of products, including in vitro fertilization products, invasive as well as minimal invasive lines throughout the Caribbean. Currently supplies all IV solutions and dialysis products. Also available life support oxygen concentrators, nebulizers, and much more. Now exclusive at Nabi's. Our latest addition, the new 6-in-1 mini lab, which can be used professionally or in the privacy of your home. Tests include glucose, total cholesterol, cholesterol HDL, cholesterol LDL, triglycerides, and hemoglobin. These machines are life-saving. Visit our showroom at number 5 to 6 Harris Street, Curep. Telephone 645-5577 or 662-7533. Nabi's, the company with 40 years of experience in the medical field.
Gospel Lighthouse Church at Marlin Trace, El Reposo Road, Sandy Grande. A place of worship, healing, deliverance, prayer for all your needs. Family, children, finances, career. Don't put it all. Get your anointing this Sunday. Call them at 773-2297 for more information and prayer. Many healed, many delivered. Be one of them. There's power in the name of Jesus.
My friends, you're back on the hot seat. Now, let me take the privilege and the honor truly is mine to welcome to the hot seat for the first time none other than my good friend, journalist extraordinaire, my good friend, Mr. Andy Johnson. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, man.
Now I offer you the hot seat.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Johnson, welcome to the hot seat and welcome and thank you for taking our invitation to be here with us today. As a matter of fact, just before I came on air, I caught a little part of your program today on the radio station. Yeah. And of course, in your usual style, information in its excellence in terms of the way you are able to capture and to bring forward information. Mr. Johnson, you have been involved in journalism for quite a few years, quite a number of years. The first question I want to place to you, what are your thoughts in respect to, as a person who have covered this nation, who have looked at all aspects of it, before I go into any specifics, what are your thoughts in respect to how the country is at this point in time? What are your thoughts about Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, in what respect?
In respect to, one, the breakdown, as you have seen from then to now, in terms of the people, in terms of our standards, in terms of crime, in terms of the economy? Generally speaking, what are how do you see it? What are your concerns right now? Or what are your hopes and aspirations in respect to what you're seeing on the ground with respect to Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, let's start with concerns. The concerns continue to be about the inability of, I would say, any administration over the last decade and more to really put a handle on the crime situation. You know, I could tell you that my wife and daughter and I, one of my daughters at least, we were away last week in the Dutch Caribbean, in Aruba and in Curacao. You know, second time in the last couple of years we've been away in those places, and the sense of comfort and relaxation and ease with which you could move about, you know, in those islands which are so close to us, you know, really presents a kind of starkness of difference from here. And, you know, the question is the extent to which life in Trinidad and Tobago has become one in which you have to be looking over your shoulders all the time. You have to be, you know. So we were away for a week, and when we came back, one of the neighbors was saying to her that, you know, she told me that last night, he was suggesting that we would put cameras around the house. Now we have all kinds of security in the house. You know, we have, you know, emergency security that we arm the house when we're not there, and if you don't unarm it when you're going back out, the alarm goes off and them kind of things. But somebody was looking at the fact that we went home for the last week and suggesting that he didn't give a reason as to why, but our sense is that maybe he saw people who noticed that we were not home and suggesting that we put in cameras. And so the time and the energy and the resources and the money that is involved in sort of equipping oneself and one's home for family safety, that is an issue by itself. And going about the place, you know, like there are places that I used to hang out, you know, and things that I used to do up to 5 years ago, I don't feel I could do it anymore. Like, you know, going to a bar in some parts of the country, you know, after dark and in some hours, you think twice about doing them kind of things. And those some of the things that bother me, and I see no means by which we could get a handle on some of them things, you know.
No, you bought it as close as 5 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
You bought it as close as 5 years ago. Therefore, you're saying that literally in 2013, you felt a greater sense of security
than now. And
than now.
The point is that with each passing day, the sense of tension that you know you feel, it keeps increasing in spite of all the efforts that are being made to address these situations.
So then,
I don't.
Then as a journalist, and you interview quite a lot of persons, including all those who are in authority and who are proposed to be in authority. What are your thoughts in respect to the upcoming or the incoming Commissioner of Police and also the new appointment of the new Minister of National Security? What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, today I was hearing that the last Minister of National Security was meeting and greeting people in his new position as a Minister of Housing, and from the information that I have, and you know, as a journalist, you know, well, this is not a story. I'm not working on a story. Otherwise, I would checked it out. I would have checked it out. But I was told by someone with whom I was in conversation just hours ago that Minister Dillon was saying to people, was heard saying to people at the HDC building today that he had not agreed with the idea of the new Commissioner of Police. And so it appears then that is one of the reasons why he was moved. But my question is that in some ways I think it took too long for a decision to have been made there, because I go back to, I think it was after the first year of this administration in which the issue was put on the table and the Prime Minister was questioned, because again, you know, I try not to be political as much as that is possible. But you know, this slogan that the party came into power with and sold itself to the country about being red and ready, a lot of evidence suggests that it wasn't, and particularly in this question of fighting crime. So that a year into, people were asking about what the expectations that they were given about addressing this issue of crime. to what extent that they had any hope of seeing any improvements. And remember then both the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security were saying that, well, it was too early then to see the results of what was being attempted. And in the last couple of weeks, the then Minister launched this new latest program called the National Crime Prevention Program, and within days, he's moved. So he is not going to be there to see the fruits of that program that has come now almost 3 years into the administration. So another minister will have to try and work with
So are you saying that his removal was like a thief in the night?
Well, it was. I mean,
where he was concerned because of the fact that he had just launched a new program?
Yeah, it was. And you know, to some extent, it was beyond people's ability to explain and to fathom. But that was one of the parts of the narratives that have been emerging in the last week, that there appeared to be some sense that maybe the Prime Minister felt that he wasn't going to be able to be on the same page with the Commissioner of Police, and therefore that there needed to be a shift. But if it is a fact that he was heard to be saying today that he, in the Cabinet, did not support that decision, I think it is.
Well, I hope he calls in and correct that.
Yeah, I think
if he's listening to the program today, or someone's listening who is connected to him, that he correct that. Because I understand he called a radio station and said he had no objection, contrary to what you just said. He had no objection to the appointment of Gary Griffith. Yeah. Gary Griffith sat in the same seat that you're sitting in this program here. And of course, myself and the program, we supported Gary Griffith. I think that was one of the major turning points in the whole situation. I'm giving us a little credit. But the point is, at the end of the day, he is now the commissioner. So therefore, the question I want to ask you, based on what you just said, you said in the first year of of Brigadier General Dillon's appointment, he should have been removed.
Well,
right?
I'm not saying he should have been, but there were these calls being made then, and so 2 years later, he's been removed on the basis of what I consider to be not enough evidence of anything having worked. So, what were the plans that we were told that there was not enough time to see whether they were working or not?
Remember, he came in with the idea of working with the architecture that he met and to how he could harness or improve the architecture. So therefore, coming out of that, you're further stating that I'm not without saying that you would have preferred what the method used by the last administration, where they had literally a national security minister.
Well, some of that was unavoidable because in 2 instances, ministers had to be removed for one reason or the other. The one was Jack Warner, and the other was the very Mr. Griffith. Now, the narrative that is abroad in the country, to some extent, says that Mr. Griffith was removed because he stood up, for principle as Minister of National Security. That, to me, is not the case. He was removed because my understanding is, I'm left with what I tend to know about what happened, is that he was removed as Minister of National Security because he did not inform the Prime Minister about a matter in which he was involved concerning the then Attorney General and the Director of the Police Complaints Authority.
The point you're making now, this is the same point that Carolyn Sipasat Beach and the head of the COP actually made to me. She didn't make it on air. She made it while sitting in the chair there to me on this very set program. She said the same thing that you're saying. So there may
That's
be...
my understanding. But the way in which it's played now in the public, that he was removed because he stood up for principle. That is not my understanding.
That's not your understanding? No. Now, ladies and gentlemen, bear in mind that the gentleman who I'm speaking to, which is, again, one of our great journalists, to my view, as a humble graduate in TNT, he was the CEO of Government Information. So we're not sure if we'd heard the total journalist.
Well, no, but what I'm giving you is the benefit of my having...
Being around.
Yes.
Yes.
And participating in some of the discussions, in the wake of the decision of the Prime Minister to do what she did in removing him. That is my understanding. And if we go back to the statement that she made in the diplomatic center, she addressed the nation then about those matters. And that, to me, was the sense. When she found out that Mr. Griffith said that he had gotten this call from Mr. Ram Logan as Attorney General to get in touch with Mr. West as Director of the Police Complaints Authority about something, whatever the something is. The Prime Minister did not know that before Mr. Griffith said that Mr. Ram Logan had called him and that he has asked him to do something concerning this matter with Mr. West. And to me, that is the basis on which he said, well, how could you be the Minister of National Security, a matter like that, and you don't tell me, and I'm not aware of it? That is the basis on which, in my opinion, and my understanding of it, that is why he was removed.
All right.
Whatever else he may have been doing or whatever else he may have done, to me, that wasn't the issue.
All right. Let's come forward now.
Same thing with Jack Warner.
Let's come forward now to today's reality. You have Mr. Stuart Young, Minister of National Security. You have Gary Griffith, who is now the Police Commissioner, to take up duty probably around the 16th, 17th of this month. Tell me, do you feel a sense of comfort? Do you feel, based on the fact that you had interacted with him while he was there as Minister, and now, in terms of, do you feel that we shall see an improvement in terms of the reduction in crime in the country?
The proof of the pudding for me will have to be in the eating, because everybody who has served as Minister of National Security over the last 10 years, you would say, came in there with high hopes from the people from one reason or the other. So that he talks a good game. He has been talking a good game, but in fact, I'm preparing to do some discussions with people who understand this question of leadership, and to lead the police service in a situation in which the rank and file in the police service began by saying that they're not sure if they want to work with him, if they can work with him. They're not sure to what extent he can harness the resources in the police service coming from the outside, not having had any experience of being in the police service. How is he going to operate? You can't run people.
Because in my own little journalistic vibration and looking at behind the scenes, I was saying a different story from Mr. Ramasa as to what Mr. Sees was saying. Mr. Ramasa was saying that he feels that he will do a good job based on his experience and based on when he interacted with him as National Security Minister. Then Mr. Ramasa, remember, he was the head of the police.
He was president of the association.
President of the association. Yeah. So he said something almost completely different from what Mr. Sees was saying. So therefore, to me, that contradiction, I'm not sure if all the officers were saying that, because when I spoke with those who have spoken with the rank and file, they were saying actually they want Mr. Griffith. They want to see changes.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But it will still mean he has to get in there, and you can't go and be parachuted into an organization like that, and it comes easy as to how you maneuver. For instance, the last Minister of National Security, when he launched this program, the National Crime Prevention Program, he was on the radio with Tony Fraser, and one of the questions Tony asked him was, well, to the extent that we accept that there are rogue cops in the police service in Trinidad and Tobago, how are you going to address that? And he said, well, he talked about his military experience, how errant soldiers and errant people in the defense force are dealt with. They have their own systems of discipline and punishment in the defense force. And I was listening to that and saying, well, you can't, that is a different...
Can't apply, really.
You can't, exactly. So who knows how Mr. Griffith is going to try and deal with that. So my jury is out, really. Like I say, he's talked a good game to the point where...
Mr. Griffith has said he has 78 initiatives to launch. And he constantly keeps referring to the fact that if Rudy Giuliani, who he brought into this country, could have done X, Y, and Z, he said right there, and said he can't see a reason why we cannot turn around this country.
And one of the things he said as well was he wanted to use, what he calls it, intelligence-led policing, and that suggests to me, so that intelligence-led policing has not been employed in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to this point. I don't know if someone could say that. So what have been the commissioners before him been doing?
Again, probably his hands-on approach might be somewhat different that can bring about that type of change. Because listen, Mr. Johnson, I just want him to be successful.
Well, Johnson, all of us, that's what I'm saying, all of us.
Mr. Johnson, I wanted Sandy to be successful, Alfonso to be successful, Jack Warner to be successful.
That's my point.
And he as commissioner and he as minister, I actually said, put politics aside. People's lives is more important than politics.
I agree with you.
So I just want to be successful. So I'm praying to God's grace that he's successful.
I think the whole country, well, I shouldn't say the whole country, because there are some people who believe that he's not right for their, if you look at the commentary in a lot of the papers, I saw one commentator, Ryan Hadid, in his piece in The Guardian yesterday, saying that he will join with the rest of the country in supporting Mr. Griffith. But I'm saying that it's not the rest of the country, because it's not everybody who is on, as we speak, on Mr. Griffith's side, and some people have made their points known, in different ways in public commentary thus far. So, but my position is that he has talked a good enough game to have impressed a lot of people on all sides. The question is, let's see what he can deliver, because some of the commentary again has pointed to things that he was saying coming into the government in 2010. He was national security advisor to the Prime Minister and then became Minister of National Security. There are people who are saying there's not enough to show what would have been done then. And my point to support that as well has been that this is an administration that has said so many negative things about crime and security apparatus that obtained between 2010 and 2015 and dismantled between 2015 and now a lot of the arrangements that were met in place then, which would have been some of what perhaps would have been brought to the table and put into operation by Mr. Griffith. So all of that, in a lot of cases, was dismantled. And now he gets the job as police commissioner in a situation in which all that they did was antagonistic to the administration now. So, and that confuses a lot of people. The current administration came into office talking about how negatively and with I suppose ill will, if you like, that the last administration had reasons for dismantling the arrangements for the offshore vessels. They dismantled the special anti-crime unit called SWORD. They interfered with the Strategic Services Agency. They interfered with the arrangements for the 360 radar arrangements across the country. They had set up a national...
They dismantled a number of things. You just speak about the present government has dismantled. They also did, or were accused of dismantling a number of things,
right.
Including the OPVs.
So that is what, for some people, that is what is confusing on, when you look at the government's decision to support an appointment of somebody like Mr. Griffith, because he was central to all that this administration criticized about what that administration sought to do in dealing with crime and security.
So you would want to, is it that you're assuming that some of the decisions taken by the Prime Minister was based on the advice of her advisor?
Well, he would have, of course, that's my position. That what else would you be doing as National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister and then becoming Minister of National Security? He was front and center in a lot of those things.
Let's go to the top of the table. Let's talk about our present Prime Minister. What are your views or thoughts in respect to the success of the present Prime Minister? And after that, I want you to do, because you have been able to interact to some extent with both of them, to compare with the former Prime Minister. I'm curious to hear your answer with this is concerned.
My views about the current Prime Minister in terms of?
In terms of his effectiveness, where he has brought the country to from 2015 to now. What are your thoughts where that is concerned?
I think he remains to impress a lot of people.
I want you to break down that. When you say he remains to impress a lot of people.
Yeah, again, the country as a whole expected more from what people have been saying from very early after the government came.
You mean in terms of the economy, or more persons to be arrested for those who are accused of being involved in corruption?
Well, I think the country was set up to expect that there would have been action where that was concerned. This question about people who committed malfeasance in office between 2010 and 2015, and not seeing any of that having, in any shape or form taking place. We've heard all these continued threats about, your day will come and jail waiting for you and all them kind of things. But nothing, to my knowledge and to the knowledge of a lot of people in the country, there's nothing happening to suggest that any action is being taken on that account. But outside of that, my sense is that a lot of people, I mean, essentially, a lot of the people with whom I intermingle on a regular basis are people who are from the base of the People's National Movement. And those are the people who are making the loudest noise about what they see as disappointments from this administration. And so I have to take that into account, you know.
Wasn't the same thing happening with the last administration in terms of those who are making it louder? No, I don't think that was happening in that case. I think that's the reason why they're in opposition today, because those persons did not speak out at all. But then let me ask you the question, how do you compare in the first 3 years of the then Prime Minister and the first 3 years of this Prime Minister?
Well, it's a different atmosphere. For one thing, it was a fact that there were more resources available to do more things in 2010 to 2015 than now. And I think that is a point that a lot of people are not seeing. People expect that magic will happen and things will flow as it was. And I can tell you that I was saying that to some other people in another group earlier today, that to the extent that people continue to identify me with the last administration, you know, there are people who will say, well, when Ole was there, so them fellas helped themselves, but they was running thing, you know. They're seeing that nothing is running, you know, whether or not there is anything to run.
Does it assume then that these persons, they're not helping themselves and also nothing is running?
Well, that is the narrative of a lot of people on the street and on the ground, you know. And the sense that the government had an ability to turn things around that would have favored people such that people would have been singing greater praises, that is not happening. To the extent that it has not been possible to do that, people are not considering that. And there are people who are saying that the government has taken a wrong approach. You know, there are people arguing about the question of the value of and the utility of trying to operate on the basis of austerity. There are people the people who are expert in economics are saying that when things are tough, you have to operate in a different way. You don't hold back, because that creates a cycle of its own that makes things worse. I am not an economic thinker, and but I'm listening to what other people are saying on that score. So people are grading the government on that, but you had a situation months ago.
So then how would you grade the government in respect to the economy? That you just made the point that what this present government and what the previous government is chalk and cheese in terms of what was available from the income to the nation. Yeah. How then would you grade the government in terms of how they have been able to manage with what they have been given?
It's not an area, it's not my area, as I was saying earlier, it's not my area of expertise, but what I could tell you is that there is a sense in which the commentary has been from those people to whom I listen, whom I look for guidance on those matters, that the sense is that the government was too careful and has been too careful in its management of the economy, and that sets in different kinds of psychologies in the society and in people, and the view that the sense that the Minister of Finance in the midterm budget review saying that, well, I can see clearly now the rain is gone, and that is on the basis of things that we didn't have anything to do with. To the contrary, what he's saying is that because of the question of prudent management, now we are seeing the benefits of that, and we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel is still some distance down the road, but there is that counter narrative which saying that all that has happened, it is on the basis of the uptick in the price of energy. The country is nowhere nearer addressing the issues of the imperatives for diversification in all the areas that we've talked about for the last, how long. And so none of that is apparent.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to open the lines now with Mr. Johnson's approval, of course. I want to, just a few calls, and I want to keep it very short. To Mr. Johnson, any questions you'd like to ask Mr. Johnson, any statement you'd like to make, but very, very short, because we're almost out of time. We have about 10 to 12 minutes remaining. So I want to give you the opportunity to make a call or two, to hear from you. Caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, brothers. At the end of the day, what I'm looking at, even though I may not be an expert in economics, but according to to the current Minister of Finance, called member. He said that Joala Rambaran walked into his office a week after and said that there was only enough money to run the country for 3 days. If that is in case the fact, it means that this government is doing a great deal that hasn't been published in the media to bring back the country. And then I want to make the comment about the opposition, who seems to need the twisting of their arm to support anything to develop the country. When we look back at FATCA, and then we look at the Commissioner of Police, where they abstained, you know, and those are just two basic issues that the country now. I use the term basic because it does not go into a lot of economics and politics. You know, it's basic issues that needed to be addressed.
All right, well, you have to hold it there because of the time switch. You have made two good points. How do you respond?
Well, his first point was about what the Minister of Finance.
Yes, in terms of what Joala has said to him. Well, forgive me. Let me take a next call. Caller, welcome, and you can answer both questions together. Caller, welcome.
I'm not hearing you.
Yes, welcome. Just go ahead and speak. Welcome.
Yes, I want to go to the program.
Go ahead.
Yes, yes. I just want to call to let you know that is the best guest you have ever brought on your TV station. He is concise in what he's saying. He knows what he's about. And since he was on television, I have followed this gentleman. And he's a real boss man when it comes to explaining things. He's the best guest you have ever had on that program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Listen, I mean, that is a compliment. I've had Tim Gopi Singh here. I've had ministers here. I've had the chairman of the UNC here, and you're the best. My brother, that's a compliment to the highest level.
Well, it's a compliment that I don't know if I could live up to these. We'll see.
Let's take a next one. Caller, welcome. Caller, welcome. Caller, you hear me? Caller, welcome. Oh, we have lost the call. Caller, welcome. Caller, are you hearing me? Caller, are you hearing me?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Caller, are you hearing me? We started the program so well. The first caller, Brum, second caller, caller, are you hearing us? Caller? Or Mr. Johnson, the fact that Joala had said to the Minister of Finance, we only have money for 3 days. The caller said that the minister is doing an excellent job.
Those are technical things. I mean, that may have been meant to be understood in a kind of way. Ordinarily speaking, that is not something that people could fathom, that there's only money to run the country for 3 days. So what happened, where the money came to run the country up until there was a budget and to continue until we began, if the minister is correct, that we began to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that is something that has to be understood in the context in which it was said.
So you're saying
I won't put a literal interpretation or definition on that, or a liberal understanding, literal understanding of that, that we only had money for 3 days. So how we manage.
So we should not be taking these statements literally.
No, that is. If it is, that was a fact, if that was said, that has to be understood within the confines of a certain kind of context.
You as a former CEO of government broadcasting, a former journalist with CCN, the CCN group, you have spent many, many years in the field of journalism. I must ask you before you depart, how are you seeing journalists in this country at this point in time? Has the standards improved, or has it really dropped to a level that you feel very, very saddened about?
No, I'm not sad at all. These things continue to be a work in progress, but you're seeing every day, you're seeing stuff, the produce of people's work, material in the papers, in the radio, based on investigative reporting of one kind or another. And so you had a situation today in which the Guardian had to apologize for taking information from a man who, in desperation, and tried to call attention to his illness and his sense of desperation, and wanted to get something. And they went with it without checking, because the reporter, the people who, there wasn't enough checking of that story when it went in. You have things like that. But that is par for the course in media. Everyone look at the issues that are taking place between the White House in the United States and major prominent arms of the media in the United States. Everything they write is being seen or broadcast being seen in the context of fake news. That is the pushback that is coming from the White House. And it happens in administrations all over the world, these contests between governments and press. But generally speaking, you know, we're not perfect, but
we're getting there.
Yeah. You know.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you, the fact that you are CEO of the Government Broadcasting Information, are you, let me ask a question to you, for the nation, are you a member of any political party?
Well, I can tell you that I was asked that the week after I took the job by the people at I-95.5, and I had to explain it to the then Prime Minister. She had heard it in a sort of closed setting one night after a retreat in Tobago. I was in a hot seat like this about that. She said, but you know, people tell her, well, you know, I said I'm not a member of the UNC. I wasn't, and I am not now. I'm not a member. I've never been a member of any political party, and I was not associated with the UNC because in the first place, the government was, and it is a point that politically a lot of people who are opposed to the partnership refuse to see. It was a government made up of 5 parties, the UNC, the COP, the MSJ, NJAC, and the Tobago Organization of the People. So it wasn't a UNC government, as a lot of people continue to say, but I went in there in a professional capacity to do a job for the government. And that is a sense in which, you know, a part of our refusal to look at things, you know, in a proper perspective. You know, people do make a distinction between the government and the party. What is happening now with the government in office is that there are a lot of people in the PNM who are as estranged and alienated from the process of government as anybody else. So their party is in government, but they are outside, just like the rest of
Would you believe yesterday a former councillor came and made a former PNM councillor, well, he was a UNC councillor before, but he's presently was a PNM councillor and still a PNM member, said the exact point, that the members of the PNM feel estranged, or he said when the UNC in power, there's a UNC in power. He said, but when the PNM in power, is the PNM and the government.
But it wasn't exactly so that's my experience in the time between 2010 and 2015, right? But if I tend sometimes...
We are out of time, we have to wrap up, I do apologize.
Yeah.
But one quick thing, Director, allow me this, one quick question. If you have to advise the government as to what to do to improve that situation that you just spoke about, what would that advice be?
I was wondering, I was listening to you sending a message or making an appeal to the Prime Minister in public like this. And I'm asking you, as the positions you have held and your tenancy, your tenure in the PNM, you shouldn't have to come publicly and make a recommendation to the Prime Minister in public like that. That says something to me, that you have to use this recourse to get a message to the Prime Minister, not Harvey Borris.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. I have to have Mr. Johnson back on this program, and very, very soon, because I think our conversation is far from over. Until tomorrow at 4:30, I want to thank Mr. Johnson for being on the program. Mr. Johnson, just a quick closing comment.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I try to do this. That's how I exchange my experience, strength, and hope, and I think
I thank you very much. TNT, you heard it for yourself. Former CEO of the Government Information Division, Mr. Andy Johnson, and of course a journalist at large, indeed doing a fantastic job and speaking his mind as we see it. Until tomorrow, 4:30, live to love to live to love, and remember at all times, love our country.